So as you can see, I've actually built this greenhouse. This is from the Mars Hydro brand, and the dimensions are 40 centimeters by 30 centimeters by 160. Now, if you do get this, just letting you know that the pillars on the inside do actually cut slightly in that, so plan your dimensions of the boxes or the trays if you're going to use it for standard greenhouse crops that aren't aquatic. Just keep that in mind. So I've had this on for a day now. As you can see, there's some humidity in here. It does its job really well. It's on wheels, so it's easy to move about. So I've got a selection of different plants in here. I've got Salvinia minima, Java moss, dwarf water lettuce, flame moss, red root floaters and Christmas moss, and then I've got an extra one just in the top of more dwarf water lettuce because I've got loads of it. This is because I've been selling aquatic plants. So mostly I've been selling the dwarf water lettuce, and I've got so much of it on the top of my other tanks that it's just blocking all the light and killing the plants underneath. And I also sort of need to step up my game with the production, so I've decided to invest in this. It's got 6 different one of these bar lights, which should be full spectrum, which should allow the plants to grow properly. You won't be able to see it from there, but the moss is actually already pearling having this light on, which means it's producing so much oxygen you can see it in visible bubbles coming off. So the mosses will do with a slightly lower light, so the floating plants are covering them from the high intense light. Obviously with this many lights in it, because it's got the mylar inside reflecting, it's going to be very high. It's going to be very high light. But I have a really low watt heater, I think it's 25 watt heater, in the bottom in this ponders we'll call it. So let me open this. Now what I use is I just use a thin meat thermometer. So if I just put that in here, this is set to 18 degrees and it's coming up as 22.2 on that bottom one. And then if I do the same thing with this top one, so from the top pond here, as we'll call it, it's coming out as 25.9 degrees Celsius. So that 18 degrees on that thermometer is really heating up this entire thing and keeping it a nice warm temperature. Obviously it is inside, but the ambient air temperature is not that hot. That would cost a fortune to run my heating bill. I would guess the ambient air temperature of my flat to be around 19 degrees if I was to guess. It is part of an apartment building, so it'd be slightly warmer. So first of all, the water colour does look a bit different to what you'd normally expect. This has come from my other tanks, which have bogwood and other sources of tannins in. So this is all healthy water, this is mature water. I've just taken this out when I've done a water change. So this has some nutrients already in, and it's the water that the plants are used to. It also has I found this on reduced, and it's a pond fertilizer pellet. So you would put this in a pond normally, so it's a lot stronger than normal ones. Because I've not got fish in here, I can afford to do that. They're really long lasting and they're a lot cheaper than normal. They're normal fertilizers. So the aim is to grow a consistent supply of the different floating plants, and then also use that space for the different mosses in here, so then I can sell those in future or use them in my own tanks for different projects. Eventually I am thinking of potentially breeding some fish in here or breeding some shrimp. I will have to change the fertilizer out because that's probably too strong for fish at the moment, and over time figure out what temperature this sits at, because we don't want any fish that I'm putting in living in fluctuating temperatures too much, because that will negatively affect the fish. Now this has plenty of ventilation holes that you can just take off. Some are Velcro, some are flaps, and it seems to be really good, and I like this see-through front so we can see what's going on. It does actually have drip trays in it as well, I've only put the one on the bottom because it is black, so it will cover up the light, and we want to maximise the light in here. So I've just put that one on the bottom so that it doesn't get in the electrics or anything. But overall, it took a while to build, but it was fairly easy to build, and I would really suggest it. I think it was around £102 on eBay. Obviously we've got to wait and see how that does affect my plant growth, because if the fish tanks are better, then it might not be worth it, but I will give an update in the future. But so far I'm really liking it. I know it's only been a day, so it's a bit early to say, but I like the look of it. It's really good for utility. The fact that you can move it, it is on wheels with a lock-in function, is really nice. I know it didn't move that much, I've got the lock on, but the fact that it keeps so much heating and so much lighting is really nice for growing these. And it's a bit better than the alternative, which was a fairly flimsy greenhouse, which I wasn't sure about keeping the weight of. I've been assured by the manufacturer that these should hold 110 pounds, which is around 50 kilos per shelf, and then the whole thing should hold 330 pounds, which is what, 150 kilos. I would not put it that high. I personally don't trust that, but it seems to be holding pretty well with about 7 litres of water in each one, so that would be about 7 kilos, the same in water. But so far pretty happy with it, and would definitely recommend the product to anyone looking to do this. If you are looking for aquatic plants, which are the ones I have on offer, which currently is water lettuce, duckweed and Salvinia minima, but will obviously expand to more things. I've put a link to my eBay shop in the description, and feel free to check it out. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy, and if you're interested in the product, go check it out. I'm not affiliated in any way, or do not get anything at all. Just wanted to give it a shout.